My apologies for just not getting to this. Been very busy as of late, but just to give you guys some perspective, the person that we're going to be watching just really quick in this video, Tim Sheridan, he is the writer of this upcoming Green Lantern book. We already got rumblings of it that they were going to be going into great detail about him being gay. Now, yes, the Green Lantern, the original Green Lantern, is now gay. That's been a thing for some years now, for whatever reason. And they're going to be diving into it with this odd sort of story that they're putting out. So this is I'm not going to say much more. This is the writer of that. And we're going to watch this video real quick. And I want you to listen to what it is that he says in the video. And then I guess this will be context for those that hadn't seen it. And then I'll give you my commentary here in a bit. But let's listen in.
Tim Sheridan, writer of DC's Alan Scott, The Green Lantern, and I just opened up a box of advanced copies of issue 1, which look amazing. This is the main cover, which also gets a virgin foil variant, and that's by the great and powerful David Talaski. There's also 2 other amazing variants, one by John K. Snyder III, and this beautiful portrait by Nick Robles. I am here to ask you...
All right, so that's 5 variants off rip for the number 1. Just throwing that out there. There will be many, many more, best believe that.
Comes out next DC Tuesday, October 24th, but already the haters and the queerphobes are out in force, doing everything they can to see that this book tanks. They use code and they make it sound like they have legit problems with a book they haven't read yet. But the truth is, they just don't like that there's a queer hero in the upper ranks of the DCU. The only way we can shut these people down is to make this book an undeniable success. The only way to prove to all the big publishers that there's a huge market for authentic stories about LGBTQIA plus characters and that these stories are for everyone is to buy the heck out of books like this. This one's only 6 issues and each one has a few variants. So I'm asking, if you have the means, buy them up. Buy extras to give to people you think really need to read it. Now you might say this sounds like a great way for Tim Sheridan to make a bundle in royalties. Well, no. I won't make a penny because every single royalty I receive from these 6 issues will go straight to a charity that's very important to me and that I've supported for a long time, the Elton John AIDS Foundation, which works to prevent HIV stigma and provide compassionate care for all communities. I am asking you to join the Corps. If you care about truth and justice, about shining a light in the darkness, if you think comics are and should continue to be for everyone, or if you just want to force these Comicsgate trolls back under the bridge they crawled out from, please support our book and send a message that the bullying and the lies and the hate have to stop. Everyone deserves to see themselves in comics. Everyone needs allies, and if you're an ally, now is the time to step up. We outnumber them.
Guilt tripping,
so let's
bro.
pool our power, vote with our wallets, and beat these assholes. Add as many of these 4 variant covers for Alan Scott, The Green Lantern, to your pull list today. Pick them up in store next week, Tuesday the 24th. Thank you so much.
And the actual tweet reads right here: comics friends, queer friends, allies, I need your help. Please share this and let's work together to deliver CG a big L. Okay. So that's what this is about, right? It's about delivering a message to the people that they consider their ideological enemies. There was a heavy emphasis on that. Now, there are still people that believe that I started as an example, the Rippaverse, to spite my ideological enemies. And, you know, even though I've never stated that, there's no advertisement that was put out by the Rippaverse that says anything of that nature. It's not in our code of ethics. It's not in any trailer. It has nothing to do with what it is that we've created here. In fact, it's the opposite because, well, I'm just not going to do that. So what ends up happening, my bad about the audio that just came in, but what's happening is, and what I've picked up from this video is that, well, because they generally act like that, and the people that would either write these stories, such as Tim Sheridan, or the people that would support this, they feel as if everybody else is doing what they're doing. So when you get a guy like myself or a company like ours that just says, well, we're just not going to do what they do, they still think that it's created to spite their ideological enemies. I made a post the other day that spoke exactly about this. Maybe I'll pull it up here because I was responding specifically to that message there, if I can find it. Yeah, it's right here where I say, begging folks to support your entertainment products to specifically spite your ideological enemy, is simply not a recipe for long-term success. And you had folks that were like, well, there's the irony there. And then you look in the mirror like, I've never wait a minute. It's a projection. Because this is what they do. So it's so bad and they're so stuck in it, in their ways, that they believe that people simply not doing what it is that they're doing is to spite them, which is insanity. But I do think there's a lesson to be had here. And I think that it may be more applicable to people that have aspirations to do great things and be an entertainer or make their own comic books or whatever. I am not going to sit up here and say that there is no money to be made to do things despite your ideological enemy. Yes, you probably can make it and strike gold once or twice. I don't doubt that. Long term, though, probably not going to see a lot of success. Now, for Tim Sheridan, look, we've seen examples of this, and it's pretty much never worked, where you're leading with homosexuality or whatever sexual preferences, or all that other stuff, and that's what you lead with, even though you may tie it to a big brand like a Green Lantern. Remember, this is the OG Green Lantern, and yeah, much like maybe what we saw with what was that Son of Kal-El. And, you see a little spike and then it falls off the cliff after that because nobody really cares. Maybe that's what they'll get. So what I mean by that is that it won't be able to sustain in terms of the support. And yes, the first issue is going to sell more. It should be expected to. But even like in terms of its holding numbers and general interest, it's probably not going to hold, to be honest. And it's because you're not leading with the correct things. I mean, this thing shouldn't have even happened to Alex Scott, but it did. We're here, right? It is what it is. But even so, you're leading with that stuff is not a recipe for keeping people around. And it really goes to show that a lot of writers don't understand. Well, first of all, they proved me right, because I've been saying this is exactly what it is they're doing. Now we got another guy on video just saying, hey, go support this, to shut them up, which is like, again, haven't I been saying that? He called me a conspiracy theorist, thinking I'm crazy, even though I've been saying that that's literally what they've been doing this whole entire time. Well, now you see an example of them just flat out admitting it. But it's just not going to be sustainable, man. And what I would encourage you to do, if you have aspirations, maybe if you want to be a one-trick pony and hit big and just bounce, hey, maybe it'll work. It doesn't matter what side of the political or social political aisle that you're on, you probably can catch a quick dub. Probably not if you're doing what Tim Sheridan does, but you maybe can catch a quick dub, maybe shock value, whatever. I get it. But long term, you just can't. It's not going to work. We've seen it. It's not going to work. So for those that are aspiring to go out there and do great things, just get out there and create. That's not a good use of money. People that think I spent $300,000 to just spite leftists. What a colossal just waste of my money to do something like that. Them getting mad is just a side effect. Like, I'm not trying to do that. That's what you do. What I'm trying to do here is in my code of ethics. We emphasize the universe. We emphasize the stories, these characters it is that we're trying to build and continue to grow for years to come. That's what we highlight, because that's what it is that we're about. And that's what it is that we focus on. And if you do that, you don't have to do it exactly like me. I'm just saying you got to lead with that if it's going to work long term, because you want people to rock with you for you. All right? Because those types are going to come and go. If they just, the gag or whatever, they're going to come and go. Right? You might be the end thing. And trust me, man, culture moves fast because of the internet. So what was in even last week ain't in it, or last month ain't going to be in. People forget about it. It'll be out, whatever. Oh, that happened? Yeah, it happened. They forget about it because they're not supporting you for you or the product for that matter. It's to spite someone else. So just go create. And what Tim, doesn't matter what side of the political aisle you're on, that is just such a mistake. Don't do that. Don't be that guy.